Hey everybody, welcome back to Small Talk Japan. On this show, we talk about all things Japan in English. My name is Mitch. This is my co-host,
Natsuki.
And we got a great show for you today. We're going to talk about how we have a fast pass, like in Disneyland. We have a fast pass to get through immigration into Japan. We'll talk about that. We're going to talk about a Marvel movie that I watched recently, because I watched it, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about a futon that inflates and has 2 fans in it to keep you cool during the summer. And we're also going to talk about a donut cheeseburger. Roll that intro. Natsuki, have you ever seen the movie? I think it's called Shang-Chi.
The new Marvel movie?
New Marvel movie. Have you seen it?
No, but I watched I saw the picture of it.
You saw the picture?
Yeah.
So I like Marvel movies. I mean, some of them are crap, but some of them are really, really good. And I don't know, I've been putting off watching this movie because I was like, we should watch it, me and the guys, we should all watch it together because we didn't get a chance to see it in the theaters because of the,
Is it on the theater also?
I don't know if it was, I don't know what was going on at that, because it was released during the, Mambo, lockdowns and everything. But anyway, I watched it the other day for the first time, and in Marvel, in the movie universe, there's no Asian character really. There's Doctor Strange's buddy. I never remember his name. Do you know his name?
I think it's Wong.
Wong or something. Whatever. I mean, he's cool, but he's not the main character of the movie. And so of all the Marvel movies, there's no Asian main dude character.
So it's the new thing.
It's like one of the movies from Phase 4, right? It came out, and so I watched it, and I was at the beginning I was kind of skeptical. I was like, this is going to be one of those. It was kind of like the feeling that I had when I watched Black Panther. I was like, this is going to be one of those, it's going to be too, how do you say in English? Wazato sugiru. It's going to be for the purpose of, equality and stuff like that. So it's going to be just that. It's going to be a shit movie. But Black Panther turned out to be a really good movie, which is pleasantly surprising. And Shang-Chi turned out to be actually a really fun movie.
It happened because of BTS?
Not because BTS in the White House. You guys that don't know what happened with BTS, basically they had a conference in the White House. I didn't even watch it. Did you watch it? What did they say?
I don't know. I just watched a little bit on the news.
They were stop Asian hate or something.
That's why I said, the new Chinese Marvel thing is stop hating Asian things also.
Which if you guys have been following the news or social media, there's been a lot of especially after the pandemic and and everything, there's been a lot of race motivated crimes and stuff like that, especially in the West, which is horrible, and we should never do anything like that. Stop that if you're thinking about it. But this movie came out, right? Shang-Chi, and I think it's called The Legend of the Ten Rings or something like that. And I watched it, and at the beginning I was just like, this is gonna suck. But it's okay, I'm gonna watch it. I started watching it, and I don't know, I think it was maybe 10 minutes in, I was like, this is really, it's don't disappoint me, because I started to like it a lot. And I was like, sometimes you watch a movie and it's it starts off really strong, and then it starts getting really shittier after that, and you're just like, and at the end you hate it. That movie was consistently pretty fucking good the entire time.
Is it a comedy kung fu movie?
So so most Marvel movies, they have their style of fighting. It's mostly like a
superstar,
superhero.
My image of Marvel is Superman or things like that.
Superman's DC, but whatever. Punching, kicking, that kind of stuff. But it's kind of the fighting style isn't like a martial art for the most part.
Yeah.
So Shang-Chi turns that on its head and becomes a Marvel kung fu movie.
It's a name of the hero.
The hero's name, Shang-Chi.
Okay.
He goes and so not only is it a really fucking cool visual kung fu movie, like a Jackie Chan movie, or if you've ever seen the Korean movie Old Boy.
Okay.
Which there's actually a scene, I won't spoil it, but there's actually a scene in the Marvel movie where they've taken great inspiration from Old Boy. And the bus scene, oh my god, that was one of the best scenes in Marvel cinematic history. But not only was it that, but it's also the movie really dives deep into the Asian American experience. Because I'm technically Asian American.
Okay.
You're quarter Japanese, mom is Japanese, grandma's Japanese, and raised in America. And so you have this kind of mixed identity. For me, it was kind of I never was accepted as a Japanese person, so it just was fine. But you get a lot of Japanese kids, Nikkei-jin, or you get a lot of Chinese kids born in America with their Chinese or Japanese parents. And then they don't have it. They're kind of Chinese or Japanese or Korean or whatever, but they're not. Do you know what I mean? They're kind of like
Who am I thing.
yeah. And like some of the kids speak the mother language where their parents came from. Some of them don't. It's kind of like that whole thing. And they really did a great job touching on, you know, all of that stuff. And Aquafina, a rapper, she's I think she's Chinese rapper from New York. I think she's from New York. If I get any of this information wrong, I'm sorry. But she's one of the, she's a sidekick character and she's hilarious. She's so fucking funny. And like, I don't know, it's just like really, really cool. And then also, oh, I forgot her name. Josh, can you look her up? The lady from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. She's also in Star Trek Discovery. I can't remember her name, but she's also in the movie. She always does a great job. But it was an all-star cast. Really great acrobatics, really great fighting scenes, and it just like it was really enjoyable. I mean, in the end, it kind of turned into a Marvel movie, you know, with magic and whatever and CG everything. But it was really cool to watch.
Who is he fight for? Who is the enemy?
There she is, Michelle Yeoh.
Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah, she's like the mothery character in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. She's also the original captain of the Starship Discovery and Discovery.
Okay.
Anyway,
what's the name of Asian actress who is in the Charlie's Angel?
Lucy Liu.
Lucy Liu.
She's not. I think again that's another example. I'm not sure where she's born, but I think she's also one of those like Asian Americans,
right?
Where she's more. I mean, I actually don't know a lot about her, but I think she's more American than she is, you know, like from, you know how like Jackie Chan, like a lot of his lines he like practices. Go for it. Put it on where's she from?
She was born in New York City.
New York City. Okay. So she's an Asian American, right? But you got Jackie Chan, who was like, he's born, I think in Hong Kong or whatever. And like he grew up and like, so he's speaking Chinese his whole life. And then when he becomes an American movie star, because he got big all over the world,
right?
You know, he's having to learn English after the fact. And so a lot of the actors and actresses in what is it called? Shang-Chi, it's like, you've got just a mixture of a lot of languages.
Oh,
and
interesting.
Half the movie's in Chinese too. Anyway, it was just really cool. And like, I just enjoyed seeing because a lot of like, you know, Marvel stuff is like, I don't know, it's a lot of Western culture, but I was just enjoying like seeing one movie that was primarily based in Asia. It's just really cool. So if you guys haven't watched that movie yet, it was kind of cool. I think if your background is in Japan or Japanese or Chinese or Korean, whatever, I think anybody can watch that movie and enjoy it.
Okay.
It's pretty cool.
It's on Disney Plus.
It's on Disney Plus.
Oh, okay.
And the CG in some of the places, in some of the spots were, I think, not Marvel level. Like, I think because they made it during the pandemic, so they had a lot of trouble with the production. But even with that, it still turned out to be a really, really good movie. I really recommend it if you haven't seen it, guys.
Okay.
Anyway, so you're supposed to comment on my t-shirt.
Hollister. You look young today. That's what I talked about before the show. You look like a high school student today.
Thank you, because I bought this t-shirt when I was in high school.
Oh, really?
This t-shirt is 20 years old.
Oh my God. And you look skinnier today.
Well, I'm always...
What happened?
I lost weight.
What did you do?
Well, actually, what I did is I've been working out a lot, stopped drinking for most nights in the week, and then got on a serious chicken and broccoli diet.
Nice. So, like you prefer the professor.
No. I like it's actually, speaking of Marvel, it's actually the Marvel superhero diet. Like all of the, like, for example, Thor, or like, you know, all the guys that get like fit for the Marvel movies, they just eat nothing but chicken and broccoli.
Right.
That's all they eat.
So, and eggs, right?
Yeah, and eggs. And so basically that's what I've been eating but you know, just because I wanted to get in, you know, tone for summer.
Okay.
Because summer's coming.
What's the name of the machine that I talked about?
Food processor.
Food processor.
It's the same in Japanese, dude.
Food
processor. It's the same word.
Food processor. Not the professor.
Anyway, well, there's a reason why I decided to wear this t-shirt today. So I bought this t-shirt when I was in high school 20 years ago. And I wanted to make a point.
How could you keep that t-shirt in your closet?
It just keeps, you know, stays in the stuff of clothes and it just never gets thrown away.
So the t-shirt is come from Las Vegas with you?
Yeah.
From like long time ago.
It actually came from Las Vegas with me to here and went back to Las Vegas and then came back here again.
Okay. It's an old t-shirt.
It just said it's an old t-shirt.
Yeah.
All right, so the reason why I'm wearing this t-shirt, this 20-year-old t-shirt, is because there's this video going around on TikTok and on YouTube and on Reddit and everything. And it's this Korean, I think he's a TikToker, he might be a YouTuber. And he interviews these two, he's in Shibuya, and he interviews these two girls. he's like, how old are you? And the two girls are 11 years old, but they're not dressed like normal 11 years old. They're dressed up like adult kind of. They're wearing high heels and like in most of the videos, their faces are blurred. And he asked them like, you know, are you going back home today? Like, what are you guys doing? So they're like, oh no, I hate my mom. The other one says, you know, like my father beats me, and so we don't go home. He's like, well, where do you guys live? And the two young girls say, oh, we live in a hotel. And then like the guy's like, how do you afford this? Like, where does your money come from? And so today I want to talk about a little bit about a concept that I think is very unique, that I think that is kind of difficult for a lot of people to understand. The idea of a papakatsu. So Natsuki, can you tell us, what is papakatsu? Papa is daddy.
Daddy.
Katsu is seikatsu no katsu.
You have a katsudo activity. So let me explain about papakatsu.
Yeah, so explain, what is papakatsu?
Okay, papakatsu is like old guy or even young guy afford those kids or even young ladies for like money or food. Basically money.
Basically, it's a sugar daddy.
Yeah, it's a sugar daddy. And then sometimes, you know, physical activity happen between them.
Yeah.
Sometimes not. But those girls,
Physical activities.
those girls can get money from the daddies, you know.
So generally speaking, papakatsu does not necessarily mean that they're giving money to underage girls. Usually it's like young adults.
Right.
But in this case, sometimes you see this in, especially Tokyo and stuff like that, you see like, we would call it grooming in the West or something like that.
Is it?
And so, yeah, it's like, so, you know, I've seen lots of comments about this on TikTok and on Reddit, and they're like, oh my God.
I feel sorry for those girls.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. That's something to feel sorry about. But what I want to comment specifically is that on the TikTok video that I saw and on the Reddit post that I saw, like most of the comments were like, oh my God, Japan's so fucked up. Fuck you, Japan kind of thing. And I want to confirm with you, because I personally don't think that this papakatsu phenomenon is I think it's very rare. And so it's not something that you see all the time. And I think that this Korean interviewer, you know, personality just kind of got lucky. But what's your feeling about this? Do you think that you see a lot of this regularly, or is this kind of a rare thing?
I believe it's a rare thing, especially those girls are like young, very young. 11, yeah. Right? But it happens probably somewhere. It is happening right there, but it happens sometimes. Especially like we were in the bad situation with Corona, and then, you know, kids have no money. Yeah,
desperate, and they have, And I could see it more with like a 16 and up, you know, 17, 18, like, you know, rebellious years, you know, hankoki, when they're like, right, high school or maybe young adults. That probably happens a lot. 11, that's a very
rare.
That's rare. I mean, that's illegal. One.
Yeah, and then I wonder what their parents are doing. Oh, that's why they are doing that kind of things. Yeah. Parents, mommy and daddy
are bad. But you know, and sometimes you see this in Japanese media, like you see like Dare mo shiranai, the movie, nobody knows. There's the other one, Maza.
Yeah. Like, and I saw the news yesterday, and it said junior high school students were working for fuzoku. How do you say that? Prostitution. And then the owner of the prostitution knew about
there's two kinds of fuzoku. There's like the prostitution kind, and then there's like the kabakura kind. Prostitution.
Yeah. And then the owner of the I can say that. Prostitution knew about their, you know, junior high school students.
Their age?
Yeah, but he let them, you know, work there. And then he got arrested.
There was a story, I don't remember if it was Tokyo or Osaka, but there was a kabakura, it's basically like a bar you go to, and there's ladies there, young ladies, and then they just drink with you. There's no, usually.
Unlike girls' bar?
Like a girls' bar. There's usually no nudity or sex or anything like that. They're just like there to drink and talk with you, which is a concept I think most people in the West do not understand why. Like, what's the appeal? But anyway. And I think it was Osaka or maybe it was Tokyo, but like an owner purposefully hired underage girls, and he got arrested.
Is it happened in
other countries?
Yeah.
I want to say no, but
like, let's say America. Are there those things happening in Las Vegas?
So So the unique thing about Japan is that prostitution on some levels is legal. Full-on prostitution is illegal, but due to some loopholes in the law, they have some legal services that you can get here. I don't know the details, but there's some legal services that you can have here. It's like just here's the law. They're like prostitution's illegal, but they're like, oh, but it's not. It's just kind of, you know,
gray zone.
Gray zone. And in those situations, usually speaking, because the owners have to pay the girl, there's paperwork and things like that. Like most of the time in Japan, like those girls are usually of legal age. In America, most of the country, prostitution is illegal. There's a couple of counties, gun, in Nevada, where prostitution is okay.
Okay.
And that's not where Las Vegas is, actually. Las Vegas is in Clark County. That's actually, like, you cannot, it's illegal in Clark County.
Also, if you get, drunk and you can call somebody, you cannot call.
Okay, wait. Okay. I'm talking about the law here, okay? So anywhere in Las Vegas, prostitution is illegal. But if you go outside of the city, we have the Chicken Ranch, you have the Mustang Ranch, and it's just like you see in the movies. The guy walks in, and they just like line the girls up, and you pick one. And then it's like a menu, and you order all the things that you want to do. You pay, and then you do it. Now, those places, they have a lot of rules. So like the girls get checked regularly for, sabio, like STIs and things like that. And those people, they're, they all follow the law. So those places, I mean, if you're going to, I wouldn't recommend doing it, but if you're going to do something like that, it's probably safer to do that. The reality is, in most places like Las Vegas, New York City, Los Angeles, they have these people called escorts. Escorts, which are basically prostitutes.
Oh, okay.
And
loophole. It's
not a loophole. No, that's just illegal. It's just straight illegal.
Oh, okay.
But there's like different levels of it. There's like the low level stuff that like, everyday guys use. And if they just kind of like, it's a risk. Like if they get caught, they get caught. Then there's like the celebrity level stuff. There was actually a book that was written by a mama that had a escort service. And like a bunch of famous people had used it. And all their names are in the book. So, I mean, like, it just depends on what level you are.
Eyes wide shut.
Kind of like that. So it does happen. Now, on the whole, I want to say that like underage prostitution is probably rare. Probably. And then also the police in America are very strict on prostitution. So if they see it or find it, they usually arrest people that are involved. So it's like it's there, but it's mostly like underground, like you can't see it. So yeah, it's and then also probably if the girls are underage, they're probably lying and saying that they're older, kind of thing. So that's what's so shocking about that video that's going around on the internet is that not only are the girls obviously children, but they say that they're 11 years old.
But in fact, there are not so many. There are some hentai. How do you say hentai in English?
It depends on the rest of your sentence.
Okay. Who wants to, date with those, young teenagers?
Perverts, yeah.
Perverts.
Yeah. In that case, they call pedophiles.
And then they got arrested if they find out. Like yesterday, junior high school, elementary school teacher got arrested because he dated with those, students.
Elementary school students? Stuff like that is like, yeah, I don't get it. Like, that's just gross.
Yeah, but 11 years old is elementary school student, right?
No. That's why that blew up on the internet. It's like, everybody's like, what the? But what I wanted to say is not that that's good. That's obviously really bad. And I hope the police find those girls. But what I'm trying to say is like, sometimes we see things that come out of Japan, like very shocking and crazy things. And like, yes, they're shocking and crazy because those are so weird, even in Japan, that they become big news all over the world. But don't think that that's a normal thing. It's not a normal thing.
No.
I've never personally seen anything like that.
Yeah, it's a sad story.
Yeah. So that's, I just wanted to open the show with that. So one thing that you guys at home, like when you hear news about Japan, we say, oh, crazy Japan kind of thing. A lot of times it's just bullshit. Like the panty vending machines, I think there's one in the whole country. Like one, maybe. Maybe they have more now because that one got really, really famous. But it's not a normal thing. I've never seen one actually.
Maybe in Akihabara, my image.
Like one or two, and that's it. It's not...
I don't know, yeah.
It's not a standard thing. So like, you guys at home, if you've seen any weird news out of this country that you're like, oh, that's crazy, and you want confirmation if it's real or not, ask us in the comments. Because like, I'll be happy to answer anything that you guys have as a question. All right, let's move on to less serious, but a little bit more fun. Happy story. So we have, I don't know. So today I didn't organize my stories. I just kind of like put them in a pile. So we're going to have to wait until I find it. So basically, there's one story is that more regional Japan airports to accept entrants from abroad. So until now, it was basically like, I think Kansai and Narita only. But I think now they're going to do, and Haneda. So now they're going to do Haneda, Narita, Kansai, Chubu, which is in Nagoya, which don't go, their place sucks. And Fukuoka, which is in Kyushu. So they're opening more and more airports to international travel, which is good. Which is good, right?
Not Kagoshima yet?
Not Kagoshima yet. I want them to hurry up and get Kagoshima.
Yeah, we have an international airport.
It goes to 3 countries. I mean, can we call that international? Yeah, I guess so. I mean, like they have this thing, guys, where like they name things that aren't right. For example, they'll take like 3 tiny little towns in the countryside, and they'll amalgamate them. They'll amalgamate them into one town, even though they're far away from each other, and they're just little rural towns, and they'll call it a city. They're like, this is now Minami Kyushu City. You're like, it's not a city. There's like 18 people who live here.
First time I went to the United States, I flew to Korean to LAX. Yeah. And then I flew to the airport named Ontario, which is a very small airport.
Okay.
At the Ontario County.
Okay.
That's it. I talked about my omoide.
Your memory?
My memory.
So I love the one thing that's good about Kagoshima is going from Kagoshima to Incheon in Korea. Incheon is like the best airport in Asia. I love it.
Hub airport.
It's a hub airport. It's so good. I love that airport. And they also have a Taco Bell, which is nice.
Oh, yeah.
So next one is Narita arrivals have a smoother ride under eased COVID-19 rules. So the international arrival wing at Narita Airport in Chiba Prefecture is showing signs of pre-pandemic normalcy on June 1st. After the government doubled the maximum daily number of entrants from 20,000. On top of that, if you're from a blue country, which that means that you have low corona cases in your country, you're basically just like normally sent right through into immigration and you just don't have any bullshit that you have to deal with. They're still unfortunately doing like, you have to install an app and do all this other stuff, but you know, you can do that before you get on the plane. So you just, once you land, just like go right through. It's great. Good job. Finally. A little late, but Finally, you know. I'm actually, the reason why we're both wearing masks today is I'm actually going to be traveling internationally. Don't say where I'm going. In a week from now. So I need to make sure that I don't test positive because you require a PCR test on both ways, in and out, which sucks. Anyway, let's go on. Let's move on to, so, Natsuki, if you were in Tokyo.
Okay.
And you wanted to get a haircut. Would you get a haircut from a foreign beautician?
Sure, if his or she is good.
I recently had a friend who went to America, and he was like, "Mitch, are the barbers and the beauticians in America, are they good?" I'm like, "It depends on where you go."
Yeah,
it's the same as Japan.
Well, Vidal Sassoon is from New York, is it?
I have no idea.
France, maybe no Paris. I can get it.
Just name all the cities, you'll get it there. So.
Now, my point is, you know, it's a famous famous beauty brand. And so I believe, of course, there are many, you know, good beautician. Barber, artisan. How do you say that? Beauty salon.
Barber is generally for men. Okay. And then a beautician is for anybody.
Beautician.
Or stylist, hairstylist.
Yeah, my point is, where is a good country for, you know, those, you know, artistic things?
So,
France, Paris?
So, here's my answer to that. It really... And there's actually a lot of documentaries about this as well. Hair is incredibly cultural and like specific to your race.
Okay.
For example, I think Chris Rock made a documentary about African American people's hair.
Okay.
And how like if you are black in America, you can't go to like a normal white person like hairstylist because they don't know what to do with your hair.
Yeah. I can guess that.
That was like the thesis behind this documentary that I think Chris Rock made. And I had never thought about that in my entire life until I saw that.
Yeah, maybe like Japanese artisan, hair.
Why do you keep saying artisan?
Yeah. Beautician.
Beauty plus technician. Beautician.
Yeah. Don't know about how to do it. Like like braids とかさ。
like dreadlocks and braiding and stuff like that. I'm not even talking about like black people hair. I'm talking about like even though like Asian hair and like for example like my hair, which is like mixed white and Asian.
Right.
It's really close.
Right. You're a beautician. Beautician?
Yeah, my beautician. Why can't you somebody write this down for her, put it on my chest and she just read it?
So, don't know. See, it's hard to dye your hair, right? It's like if you do it with like bright color, it goes too bright or.
Okay, so like I was saying, like even though my hair is really close, it's closer. It's like here's white people hair and here's Japanese people hair. Mine's like in the middle.
Okay.
So when I was in America, I'd go to like white people beauticians and they'd be like, your hair is a little different.
Oh, really?
Because it's a little bit thicker and I have a lot of hair.
Okay.
Compared to like, have you ever felt like real white people hair before? It's like
fluffy.
It's fluffy and it's very, very
thin.
Maybe Josh has real white people hair. You happy?
Every time I go to the hair salon, they always feel my hair and they're like, it feels like I'm touching a cat. Like, it's very thin and it's very soft.
Oh, okay. After we stop the show, I'm gonna touch you.
The reason why I have this hairstyle is because my hair only goes straight up, like it just spikes. That's all it does.
Maybe you can do super Saiyajin hair.
Yeah, I have the T-shirt for
it.
But like, so it was difficult. Like, you know, I actually had the reverse phenomenon happen when I was styling one of my white friends' hair in America. I was like, all you have to do is put a little bit of like gel in and just do this, and then like the hair went up and just went like this and it fell down.
Okay.
And I was like, why does your hair do that?
Those hair stay for a long time. I mean, they don't get bald, like too thin hair.
I have no idea. Depends on the person, but I'm just saying that depending on where your ethnicity is, your hair is very different. Okay. So even though I'm mixed Japanese and white, like I go to a beautician in Japan and they're just like, your hair is not Japanese, but it's not white, but it's not Japanese. So it's like always, like you were talking about my hairstylist when she bleaches my hair, she like the very first time she did it, she put the hair bleach in there and about 10 minutes later, I'm like, you can wash it out now. She's like, what are you talking about? I was like, no, we're good. She's like, no. It takes 45 minutes. I'm like, I'm not Japanese. My hair is not black and it does not take 45 minutes. It takes 10 minutes. And she was like, I don't know. And she waited 15 minutes, washed it. I was fucking white.
Oh, that was like her first time to dye
my hair.
Okay.
And then after that, she's like, okay, so it's different. So it is. It's very, very different. And this, again, like very similar to Japanese people. I am. So if you can imagine like, you know, somebody like, maybe from Indian people hair, for example, like from India, it's very, very
thick.
I guess that's actually probably closer to Japanese people hair.
Yeah, but they have black hair too.
Yeah. So anyway, it just depends on where you're from. You go to the Nordic countries, you know, lots of blonde people. Right. You know, it depends on where you are. Anyway, so this is from Tokyo Governor Koike, which I love her, by the way. She's like, there's an English. It's called BIC. I don't know if this is sexist, but this is a thing when I was a kid. BIC, it means bitch in charge. It's like you're a strong woman, you know what you want, and you get it. That's her. I love her. She's so great.
Maybe that's true.
And she's like, but she's really kind, but she's also very strong. Anyway, it says the Tokyo Metropolitan Government on Friday said it would allow foreigners to work as beauticians from October using a national regulation scheme, marking the first time in the country's beauty industry has been open to foreign people. Right. Foreign citizens on student visas who have demonstrated skills to be beauticians, so basically beautician students or people who are already licensed, and stylists at beauty schools in Japan will be allowed to work in the field for up to 5 years to gain experience. That's cool.
Yeah, I wanted to. I mean, ダメだ。英語喋れない。Maybe I wanted to try.
Get your hair cut by someone from a different country?
I'm losing my confidence.
I'm losing my confidence, she says. Yeah, but like, I don't know. I think I don't care where you're from. I don't care what you look like. If you can do a good job cutting my hair, cool. That's it.
Right, that's true.
That's all I care about. Josh, have you ever had a really bad haircut in Japan?
Yeah, I would say I've had bad haircuts in Japan, but I've also had really bad haircuts in America too. Like I'm not a fan of the kind of like speed cut places where they cost like $5, but they're done in like 5 minutes.
Yeah. You're talking about in Japan, right?
Yeah.
No, they have them both in America and in Japan.
Really?
Yeah.
So one of my friends went to, we shouldn't name her. But anyway.
Natsuki likes to name drop people on the show. Yeah,
but anyway, she went to travel Paris and she wanted to experience about, Paris top stylist cut.
Yeah.
And it was sucks. So
it sucked.
Yeah.
But, I feel like even in Japan, like I bounced around from beautician to beautician for years until I found my guy. And I used him for, I think I used him for 8 years until he moved away. And then when he moved away, I was like, oh, fuck, what do I do? And then I found the current person who drops, Chaye. She's great. I've been going to her, I think, for 4 or 5 years now or something like that. But yeah, it's a really personal thing.
Yeah, it's a really personal thing.
But it doesn't matter what race you are, as long as you can do it,
That's true.
But again, like, guys, it's just a really... you should look at... Can you find the name of that Chris Rock documentary? Because I do want to plug that. That opened my... I never thought about hair as being like such a important cultural aspect until I saw that. Good hair. That's what it's called by Chris Rock.
Those people, I mean, those beautician.
Why do you keep saying artisan?
Those beauticians who wish to work, in Tokyo, probably studied in Tokyo.
So it's a law that allows them basically for students who have graduated to stick around and work as a beautician.
Okay.
Or people who have come here with the beautician license to practice.
Right. That's true.
So the specifics have not been decided yet, but basically that's the idea.
Cool.
Yeah. Moving on, Japan-born American files lawsuit against Japan's dual nationality ban. So if you guys don't know this, in Japan, it's not like other countries where you can have more than one citizenship. They have a law that says you're either Japanese or you're not. And if you want to apply for Japanese citizenship, you have to renounce your current citizenship wherever you are. Anyway, a Japanese-born American said Thursday she has filed lawsuit with a Japanese court claiming that the country's nationality law, which bans its citizens from also holding foreign nationality, violates the Constitution. Yuri Kondo, 75, who currently lives in Fukuoka, has filed a lawsuit at the Fukuoka District Court, said at a press conference that with her legal team, acquiring U.S. citizenship should not have automatically stripped her of her Japanese one. Kondo lived in America and in Arizona where she practiced law, and then she came back to Japan and she had lost, so she's currently here on a visa, even though she's born Japanese citizenship. And so she's currently, nationality is an important human right, and it's illegal to automatically take it away from someone without their consent, she said. How do you feel about this?
Why can't we have like double citizenship?
Yeah. Why not?
Why not? And then why other countries can have it?
Because you guys' laws are weird?
Because we are like close island country?
I don't know. I mean, there might have been a reason for this at some point, but I feel like, there's actually 3 other cases that are currently going through the Japanese courts that are suing over this. But I hope that they win, because I think that the whole idea of like not having, there are so many Japanese people who are born, with mixed parents and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they get both citizenships, and then come 20, because you can have dual citizenship until you're 20. And then right when you hit 20, you have to pick one.
Do they find out if they, keep having it?
You mean if they just shut up?
Yeah.
Totally, maybe.
Oh, okay.
No, but it's like, it's just one of those things. It's like, it's an unnecessary, what do you call it? Burden upon, people who are born with 2 citizenship. If you can have 2 citizenship, good on you. Good for you.
Well, what's the good things about having, 2 nationalities or 2 citizenship?
So you can like, in normal countries, not in Japan, but in normal places, you can just like, if I'm like American and Canadian, for example, I can just live in both countries and work in both countries.
Oh, okay. Okay. And it happens. It is happening right
Especially
now.
in European countries. Many Europeans have multiple passports and things
cool.
multiple citizenships and things like that.
Oh, okay. Sounds cool.
I mean, I don't see the problem, especially with the population in decline, if you're forcing kids, especially if they're living abroad, like this woman, if you're forcing them to like get rid of their Japanese citizenship, then that means they're never going to come back. That's not good.
Not right.
It's not, let's think about it, guys.
Yeah, it's maybe because we are, island country. Maybe.
Let's move on. Japan to cover 99.9% of households by fiber optic networks in 2028.
Good thing.
Japan will aim for a high-speed fiber optic network to cover 99% of households before the fiscal year of March 2028 ends, the government policy showed Wednesday. The plan is a key pillar for Prime Minister Fumio Kishida. Love you, Kishida. You're doing such a great job. Vision to ensure not just major cities, but also regional areas can have smooth access to digital services in everyday life. Japan has seen as a laggard in the digital transformation globally as the COVID-19 pandemic made the contrast clear. I'm going to say that Japan's not a laggard, that America, compared to America's a laggard. But there are certain areas in Japan that are underserviced by fiber. Nazi, you have
fiber.
Do you have fiber now?
Oh, yes, I do.
I thought you had the 4G SoftBank thing.
No.
You have fiber now?
I did the construction thing on my house.
Okay. How do you feel about? Okay, so before you had like the, I forgot what it's called, but the Denpa, the cell phone, like Wi-Fi, pocket Wi-Fi thing. And now you have fiber. Which one's better?
Of course, the fiber thing. It's easier and faster. No need to stop YouTube.
No need to stop YouTube. Yeah, basically the news story talks about during the pandemic, a lot of households, in the last 2 years have realized, oh, we need internet and we need a computer. And so
I didn't realize that Japan is such a low computer company before we are starting this show.
So it's weird because like before the pandemic, everybody was using their phones for everything,
right?
Which is fine. But then if you have to do like a day of school on Zoom because of the pandemic, this isn't enough. You can't use your cell phone service every single day for 7-8 hours a day. So then that's when everybody panicked and tried to get Wi-Fi all at the same time. And there's a webcam shortage and all this other stuff.
Yeah, but I think who needs to change is like Japanese countryside city halls. Do you understand what I mean? They're still using fax and they're doing like a lot of paper things to do it.
Well, here's the thing though. So I used to work in one of those countryside town halls, city halls. And they would buy computers for all the old people that work there.
Okay.
And they would literally they close the notebook and then put papers on top of it and write on papers.
Right.
So the notebook's just sitting underneath everything. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, hello.
They don't know how to do it.
They don't know how to use it. So it's not just the equipment. It's not just, Japanese are really, really good about giving them the objects. The training is what they're lacking.
Oh, that's so true. Training.
So you can give everybody fiber to their house. That's great. But if they don't have a computer or smart technology, if they don't understand how to use it, it's not going to mean anything.
Exactly. They need training.
Like one of our favorite bars here in Kagoshima, I think 6 years ago, I bought the owner an Apple TV and showed him how to use it because I wanted to watch YouTube music videos in his bar.
Oh, was it 6 years ago?
Yeah, I think it was like 6 years ago.
Okay.
Maybe more. And so like he was like one of the first people in the downtown area here that's like ever had like on-demand music. He was just like, wow, this is so cool. And I'm like, dude, this happened like 10 years ago, but it's just slow.
Right.
Whatever. But hey, Josh, do you got internet in your new apartment yet?
Yeah, I got fiber.
When?
A couple weeks ago.
That's good. How do you feel about it?
It's nice.
It's fantastic.
It's a lot better than the Wi-Fi that my girlfriend used to have. Like before, we would have to like stop Netflix every few minutes.
Right. That happens.
You guys had the cell phone pocket Wi-Fi thing?
No, we had the apartment complex
shared internet.
So like any time that we would want to use it is the time that it's like peak hours. So
it's garbage.
It would always be slow and garbage.
So a lot of apartment towers here in Japan, they'll advertise free internet, and it's technically true. But what they'll do is they'll get one fiber optic connection for 50 units.
Ah, so nanda. I didn't know that.
So your down speed is like 150 megabits a second. And you're sharing that with 50 people. So you're getting like less than dial-up speeds. So it's just garbage.
Even though if you had like, apartment Wi-Fi things, so some people get contract with their own internet.
Yeah. So my apartment has shared internet with everybody. I think I used that for 6 minutes and I ordered my own private fiber line and then just never looked back.
Oh, okay.
Cannot use shared internet. I mean, like, if you use it from like 10 a.m. until like 4 p.m., it's fine. But anytime people are actually home,
Peak hour?
It doesn't work.
Oh, really?
It's absolute garbage. It was a nightmare. I'm so glad I have my own private line. Worker at Japanese fast food chain Skiya dies while working alone. Female worker at one of Japanese Skiya last 2-3 weeks ago. I think we were talking about Yoshinoya. So you guys, we're going to leave you alone for a little bit. We're going to shit on Skiya now. So a female worker at Japan's leading fast food chain Skiya collapsed earlier this year while working alone at one of its outlets, and she was confirmed dead later after suffering a heart attack, a company official said on Thursday.
Yeah.
The woman in her 50s was working as an early morning shift on January at a Nagoya outlet, and her situation was not found until her colleague arrived later at 9 a.m. She was taken to the hospital and later pronounced dead.
She was found after 3 hours. She had a heart attack, right? Yeah. Oh.
So, okay. First of all, I wanna talk about two angles with this. One, let's talk about Skiya. Is Skiya good? Do you guys like Skiya?
Okay, I have one Skiya near my house, and I sometimes buy.
So Skiya is like a gyudon. It's like beef and beef rice bowl.
It's cheap.
The only thing that I recommend getting at Skiya is the mini gyudon.
Many flavors?
What's it called? Mitsu cheese mini gyudon.
Right, 3 cheese.
3 cheese, small gyudon. Get that. And then
I like mentai gyudon.
Okay. Mentai, the little, yeah. I recommend getting the 3 cheese, the small gyudon, and then a side of kimchi, and taking the kimchi and dumping it on top of the bowl, mixing it together, taco salad.
Right.
Taco rice bowl. It's great.
That's so true.
Tastes great.
Thank you for the idea.
It really does. It tastes good.
Yeah.
But Skiya is like, what would you say Skiya is? It's like the lowest quality fast food place in Japan.
I buy it because there is no Yoshinoya near my house.
See? So Skiya is worse than Yoshinoya. Yoshinoya is not that great. But it's cheap as fuck, dude. You can get like they have like the bowl, and you can get like a side dish, like of an egg or something. You can get it for like $2-3. So cheap.
With miso shiru.
Yeah, it's really, really fast. But the thing is about Skiya is the staff is only 1 or 2 staff at a time.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, even the downtown one here usually only has 1 or 2 staff.
Is it 24-hour store?
Some of them are 24 hours. Some of them are like from 5 a.m. like this one is. But anyway, okay, so that's what Skiya is. Okay, now, Natsu, let me ask you. Do you think it's okay to have only 1 employee at Skiya at the time?
No. I mean, I didn't think about before the person is died, but, things like that happened. So we need 2, maybe?
But then, okay, let me ask you this question.
Okay.
Family Mart or 7-Eleven, oftentimes you go to a convenience store and there's only 1 staff.
Really?
Yeah.
So this kind of things happening in their, whole entire country, maybe.
Not only that, the whole world. I mean, there's a lot of places that you go to all over the world and there's just 1 person working there.
Oh, okay.
Like my hotel in Korea a couple of years ago, I walked in, there's just 1 old guy.
What do they do? Like press the button if they feel sick?
Well, so actually, in a lot of places, there's just no system whatsoever.
So just die? Just like that?
Yes, Natsuki, they just die. No.
Okay.
So there's basically no system, right?
Okay.
But Skiya actually has a system. They have a bracelet with an SOS button on it.
Oh, really?
Probably for like criminals or something like that. But apparently this heart attack maybe happened so suddenly that she didn't have a chance to press the button. But anyway, and you can actually see systems like this in Japan, like 24-hour gyms. They have like a necklace that you can wear at some of the 24-hour gyms that if you pull on it, like if you're having a heart attack while you're working out in the middle of the night and there's no staff.
Okay.
Because some of the 24-hour gyms have no staff at night.
Right.
You just pull the necklace and then Seicom comes or whatever, the security company. But anyway, so I don't know if this is such a problem. And here's why. I live completely by myself.
Same thing.
I spend most of my time by myself.
Be careful.
This bitch. No, I'm kidding. So like yesterday while reading the story, actually, I read the story yesterday. I was like chewing ice as I always do because I'm a horrible human being. So I'm like drinking my tansansui, what is that? Soda water, and like chewing on ice cubes while reading this on my phone. And I had often thought, like, if I started choking right now, I just die.
Right.
Like, there's no like, hey, wife, help me, give me the Heimlich maneuver. I just don't live with anybody.
It happens.
So it happens, right? So is this really Skiya's fault?
Yeah, because that person is an employee, so the company should, protect the employees. You're living by yourself, so you're the one who needs to take care of yourself. But this employee is belong to the company, so company should.
But sometimes there's like a police box at Koban, which is one police officer.
Right.
So what about that situation?
Maybe camera is on, and
who's watching him? What I'm trying to say is like, there's a lot of jobs where people work by themselves. It just happens.
Mm-hmm.
And is it the company's fault if something medical happens to that person while they're working by themselves? I don't think so.
Right. I
mean, think about this. How many buses that you ride all the time if you go from city to city on a bus? There's just only one bus driver. There's no other staff.
True.
Right?
Customers are there.
There's customers, but there's just the one staff.
Right.
So if something happens to him, there's no other staff to help.
Mm-hmm. Are
you showing us the Heimlich maneuver?
This is how you do it if you're by yourself. Use a chair.
I don't have a chair.
Well, sofa, then you're gone.
Table, counter.
Thanks, guys.
You have a counter. You have a counter.
Okay.
So yeah, you can do it by yourself. Look up how to do it if you're listening to this podcast. Because this is actually something. This is one of my was one of my biggest fears, like choking on something when I'm by myself. So I know how to do this.
But I don't know if I can do it. I don't have guts to do it.
What if you're choking on something and you're pregnant? What happens then? No one.
But it's like above your stomach.
Yeah, but the stomach gets in the way, bro.
Well, I can look it up if you want.
Yeah, you look that up.
I've never had to worry about that.
I've never had to worry about choking by myself before. The only reason why I thought about this is because I saw one of those fucking Ring videos where some guy who was home by himself ran over to his neighbor's house and knocked on the door, and he's like, I'm choking. And his neighbor gave him the Heimlich maneuver.
Really?
Yeah, it's a video. And I was like, I live by myself. I might die chewing on. So anyway,
so what's the new suggestion? I mean, they're suing the company.
No, there's no suing. It's just bad skia. You left the employee by yourself, and I'm not necessarily certain that that's okay. So Josh looked it up, and apparently, what you do, I don't know what you do if you're by yourself, but if you're a pregnant lady, you put your arms between her baby bump and her mammary glands, her bosom, and you just push in between the baby bump and the boobies.
Yeah. Scary.
Okay. Maybe I should stop chewing on ice. But technically, if it gets stuck, but I can still breathe a little bit, I'll just wait.
Yeah, just get some hot water and then pour it down your throat.
I'm pretty sure that that's not going to make it better. If I can breathe, I'll just wait.
In Japan, stuck things is like most famous things is mochi.
Oh, that's why I don't eat mochi. Fuck mochi. No. When I was a kid, I can't eat mochi because when I was a kid, I bit off too much and then didn't chew it completely, and then it got stuck in my throat.
How did you do?
I think it was at Oshogatsu in the Las Vegas, was it Nikkei Nantoka Nantoka Association, like the Japanese community there.
Okay.
And they're all eating fucking mochi. And I'm like, yay, mochi, I love mochi. And it got stuck. And then I think they hit me on the back of my back or something like that. I threw it up.
They saved your life.
Yeah, but ever since then, I'm like, fuck mochi.
So during Oshogatsu, New Year's days, some old people die because of mochi stuck their throat.
Fuck mochi, man.
And
I hate mochi.
I heard it's a wrong information, but some people do, like they put the vacuum inside of their mouth.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
So I said it's a wrong information, but I
had to teach my Eikaiwa staff, the Japanese teachers, and two things I had to teach them: CPR. Like we all sat around together and learned CPR together because they didn't know, and the other one was the Heimlich maneuver. I was like, this is how you save children's lives, guys.
Right. I've learned, CPR things, but I don't think I can do it because, do you
Bee Gees. Hey,
yeah.
Hey. Actually, that's no longer important. Like, before you'd be like, hey, staying alive. This is the pumps that you do on the, in that beat, the Bee Gees. And before you would do that, and then you would breathe, and then pump, and then breathe. But now, they tell you, don't even do the breathing, just the chest compressions only. Just do that.
I always believed that you're not good with singing, but now I could understand what you're singing. Stay alive.
I hate you sometimes. Anyway, so that's speaking of mochi. Donut burger. Okay, you got to put a picture of this in the podcast, on the video podcast, Josh. So What's your image of Mr. Donut, Natsuki? What do you think about Mr. Donut?
Like sweet donuts.
Could you imagine? This is called Kinako Fried Chicken Pondering.
Wow, is it happening?
It's finished, but it happened.
Uh,
It was.
I can imagine how it tastes like.
It's a donut cut in half, or maybe two donuts, chicken in the middle of it, and it's with French fries, and it's a sandwich.
It tastes like McGriddle, maybe. Do you understand what I mean?
God, ugh. It was
like sweet and salty.
So this reporter commented, it was immediately chewy, sweet, salty, spicy, juicy, and crispy all at once, confounding her senses and confusing her mind. She took another bite and was able to get a clearer picture of the different components and how they work together. The donut provided a chewy texture to the mix, while the kinako topping added a sweet accent.
So is that means good or not?
She liked it. I think that's it only ran for a week here in Japan, but like, oh god, a chicken glazed donut sandwich. Ugh.
Is McGriddle from America?
I think everything Mac is
right.
Yeah.
So sweet and salty things happen sometimes.
I know people put syrup on bacon. Those people are evil, terrible human beings. No, I'm sorry guys. I just don't like sweet stuff. I just can't do anything sweet.
Yeah, I want to try that. It may be good.
Well, I tell you what, we'll make the chicken. You go get a donut. We'll cut it in half. Make it
right,
we'll make it work.
I've had a burger like that before, where it was a donut cut. No, I think it was Krispy Kreme. Yeah, it was a Krispy Kreme donut cut in half with it was a cheeseburger inside.
It may be good.
Oh, that's disgusting. Krispy Kreme is the worst.
Yeah, I actually really don't like Krispy Kreme, but
Krispy Kreme is the worst.
It was a thing in Japan, but it's disappeared now. We had a Krispy Kreme donuts in our town, but it's gone.
Yeah, because it's the worst. Krispy Kreme is horrible. Krispy Kreme happened when like the Starbucks boom happened.
Okay.
They came up together, and then everybody realized that diabetes is not fun, so Krispy Kreme went away. Fuck you, Krispy Kreme. Are you looking it up? Did you find it? No. Okay. Japan logs record low 8,111 newborns in 2021.
Because of Corona?
2021. You had your baby in 2022.
This year.
So you didn't count to this number.
No. That's bad.
No, it's fine.
I helped.
I helped. The number of babies born in Japan fell to a record low of 8,111,604 during 2021, declining faster than the government anticipated, according to data released Friday. By prefecture, Okinawa posted the highest birth rate, with each woman estimating to have 1.8 babies in her lifetime, followed by Kagoshima, us, and Miyazaki, both in southwestern Japan, at 1.65 and 1.64, respectively.
Wow. So I have 2. So I'm like, I won.
Yes, you're winning. You are winning something.
That's kind of scary because like the highest Okinawa is still less than 2.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
So the replenish rate, very dependent on where you are, because some infant mortality and let's just call it school shootings and stuff like that, like depending on where you are, okay, children have to be replenish the population is somewhere usually around 2 point something. And I think in Japan, it would be something like 2.2 or 3 or something like that. So if the whole country is not having at least 2.3 kids per couple, you're not even keeping the population flat.
Right. Well, what are we going to do? I mean, I worry about my children. They have to pay a lot of tax to, help adults. That's sad.
Well, I saw this guide to what to do. It was in Nihon Mukashi Banashi, the folk tales. It's called Throwing Away Grandma.
Okay. Ubasteyama. Oh my goodness. Is that happening again?
Is it going to happen again?
Am I going to the mountain near here?
Well, someday Shiori's like, hey mom, let's go to the mountain. You should say no.
For you guys who don't know, and actually some of my Japanese staff did not believe me about this when I was talking about this, I think 5 or 6 years ago. This is not only in Japan, but this is in a lot of cultures back in the day, grandma, because grandpa usually didn't live very long.
All right.
Men have historically always lived less years than their women counterparts because, they get killed in wars or they die working or whatever. Various reasons, men usually die younger. And so what happens is in your community, you know, during like feudal Japan, when like, you know, resources were scarce and things like that, you'd have a small community, and you'd have these older grandma ladies who can't have kids anymore. They're too old to raise children. They can't do anything anymore. They're just there, and they're consuming resources. They're eating food. So depending on what culture in, for example, some Puritan cultures found the idea of the witch.
Oh, okay.
So they're like, oh, this old woman's a witch. And so they'd like drown her, burn her, whatever, to get rid of her, because she's just consuming resources without contributing anything.
Oh.
In Japan, they were much more direct about it. They'd literally, not the whole country, but some parts of the country, and for some parts of their history, literally take grandma up to the mountain.
It's not even funny.
Put her on the mountain.
Just leave her there.
See you later, grandma. Thanks for all the nice memories. And just leave her there to die. Anyway, but the Nihon Mukashi Banashi, the folklore tale that the kids watch, is actually the reverse of that. Is that I think it's the son takes the mother, who's grandmother age, up to the mountain to leave her, but refuses to leave her and takes her back down and then hides her, is the story. So it's a good story.
Yeah. I will exercise a lot, and even my daughter, leave me at the mountain, I will come back by myself.
Oh, so funny. Okay, sorry. Speaking of food, over 10,000 food items in Japan to see price hike in 2022 survey.
Yeah, it's on news every day, and I get sick of it.
Okay, so because of, let's say, Russia not being cool, Russia, if you guys don't know this, Russia and Ukraine account for like some ridiculous percent of the world's grain supply. And so because of that, there's a shortage in grain supply all around the world. This is also part of the reason why gas prices all over the world, especially America, are going up, because the price of oil has gone up. All those people out there in America who think that Biden controls the global oil trade, you're a fucking idiot. It's because the cost of oil went straight up like this after the pandemic, and because supply is very, very low, because they are still on pandemic level supply. And so anyway, so oil got really, really expensive especially because of after the pandemic, demand went up, supply was low, and then supply got lower because OPEC is the old system. OPEC Plus now has Russia in it. Russia's oil is no longer marketable because of sanctions and things like that. Anyway, in addition to that, grain has also become more scarce and expensive. So a growing number of Japanese companies are selling products at higher prices as coronavirus pandemic and Russia's ongoing invasion of Ukraine has caused the cost of everything from wheat to crude oil to rise. Alcoholic beverages and other drinks will see the largest price hikes at an average of 15% due to rising costs of wheat and plastic bottle packaging, because plastic is made from oil. According to the survey, over 80% of the products will have their price increase in July or later.
I don't want to see the reality.
I don't want to see the reality on the show that we talk about news.
I know, but if we need something, we have to buy them anyway, right? Yeah. So I don't want to see the reality. We're going to buy them.
But the good thing is for the most part, prices in Japan are generally more stable than those of other countries. So this is one thing I really want to compliment Japan, is that they never price gouge. For example, if you're sitting at your gate in the airport, and there's a Coca-Cola vending machine. The Coca-Cola in the airport vending machine is the same exact fucking price of every other vending machine in the whole country. The price doesn't change. If you go to a concert, okay, giant concert, you go buy a beer, it's 600 yen. It's a little bit more expensive than buying it at a bar. In America, if you go to a concert and you buy a beer, it's $24 fucking dollars. If you buy a Coke bottle out of a normal vending machine in America, it's like, wow, $1.50, $1 something cents. You do it at the airport, or you do it at some like special event, it's like $3. They just jack up the price because you have limited choice. But they do not do that in Japan. You go to the convenience store.
What a nice country.
It is. It's because Japanese consumers are very, very urusai.
They are seeing the reality.
They are
like me.
They're like, if you have, for example, if you have a 7-Eleven in an airport and everything's more expensive than other 7-Elevens, the Japanese customers will fucking freak out. They will not accept it, and they will go to the media, they'll go on social media, and they will shame 7-Eleven to put the prices back down to normal. So they can't do it. So that's one good thing about Japanese customers. You guys are annoying enough to get your way.
Annoying.
Good. Good for you guys.
So people who travel to Hawaii this season, and if they were on the news, and everybody was shocking about, the price were very expensive, food and like alcohol, everything. So they said it's hard to afford. It's
not only that, it's also the weak yen.
Right.
Everything's like 50% more because the yen is so weak.
Right. And then one of my friends' son is going to, some country to study abroad. And then because yen is very weak now, so the study situation, money is very expensive now.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So it's like it's just pendulum on a clock. You pull it up and you let it go, and it'll swing back and forth, but eventually it'll hit the middle. So right now, because we're coming out of these crazy times, like just shit has gone crazy.
Right.
It'll take a while for it to calm down and normalize, but it'll eventually normalize. So a lot of this is just right now. But unfortunately, when the price of something like food goes up, it doesn't come back down.
Oh, right.
It stays like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Gas will probably go up and down and whatever, but like food will probably stay like that. Okay, let's continue on. Let's do a fun story. Let's do your story.
Oh, okay. It's a story about Stocher. Stocher. Have you ever heard Stocher?
I have.
Okay. It's a environment. No.
Advertisement.
There you go. Kokoku. It's a advertisement. You can carry the backpack and then you put the iPad in there and then it shows what you want to show. Advertisement. It's a service. It's a new service.
So it's a new startup.
Okay.
That is, I think it's in Shibuya only.
Shibuya only.
And basically, like, if you want a part-time job, you install an app on your iPad.
iPad.
They don't give you an iPad. The only thing that they give you is they give you a backpack that has like a clear window in the back of it. And then you put your iPad in there, install their app, and then you just walk around. And then they display ads on your iPad while you walk around. That's all you have to do. You just walk around. It's like 1,200 yen an hour.
An hour.
So that's like less than $10 an hour.
But you just, you walk anyway. So it's good, isn't it? No?
I think that the target audience here are just like young kids who have nothing better to do, just walk around.
Yeah, it depends on the advertisement you show. It's a dirty thing. I don't want to do it, but it's a fun thing. That would be cool.
I don't think that they can do dirty stuff. I think it's all clean stuff.
Cool.
Yeah. But anyway, guys at home, leave a comment. Would you do a job where you walk around, like basically, Shibuya would be like, I don't know, Times Square in New York, with a scrolling advertisement on your back. You don't have to talk to anybody. You don't have to do anything other than just walk around. And you can walk anywhere you want, just as long as you're in that area.
Can we see? I have a bad eyesight, so if the backpack in it, and then there's a cover on it, right? Do you think we can see well?
I don't know. It's a startup, so we'll see what happens. But basically in Shibuya, it's really like a battle for your attention. There's just billboards and signs everywhere. And like I talked about this a couple of weeks ago on the show, but like in Shibuya, they have a lot more billboard trucks. Big trucks with like giant signs on them. They have way more now than they did before.
Do you think it works in Las Vegas too? Because people are working in the main area.
I think people would steal your iPad in Vegas, but
steal the iPad.
What we do in Vegas is different. We have these advertisements for strip joints,
right,
where it'll be a truck and it'll have like 3 or 4 strip poles inside of it, and girls in very, very small bikinis dancing on the inside of the truck. As it drives around. And they're like, come to wherever. I'm just like, wow, Vegas.
Okay.
You're so classy.
I never thought about, someone stealing your iPad from the backpack.
It's crazy now in America, man. It depends on where you are, but there's a lot of crazy stuff going around.
Maybe we can do this because we're in Japan.
Yeah, Shibuya is pretty safe. Nothing bad happens there. Except for, Papakatsu. All right, let's move on from, poor man's part-time job, which I don't know. You guys leave it in the comments. Would you do that kind of job? If you're like on a diet, right? You want to walk like 5K a day. That's great. You just combine walking with, having that part-time job and you just make some change.
And then you can get your money on that day.
Yeah, they pay you on the day.
Pay on the day. Cool.
So, I mean, I don't know.
Diet and working together.
Yeah. Well, anyway, you guys leave comments. Would you do it? Would you not do it? And reasons why. Let's move on. Uniqlo chief regains spot as Japan's richest, but wealth down sharply. So during the pandemic and after the pandemic, all the rich people in Japan kind of shuffled around just like they did in other parts of the world. And Tadashi Yanai, founder and chief of Japanese clothing retail chain Uniqlo, has regained his title as the richest person in Japan, even as a global economic slowdown has eroded his wealth sharply.
Congratulations.
According to the International Business Magazine, Forum's Asia's largest list of the richest 50 people in Japan. Son, who is the top SoftBank, took the biggest hit in both dollar and percentage terms, and his investment firm's two Vision funds reported a record 27 billion loss for the year ending in March 2022. So the three richest people you got Yanai, who's the Uniqlo guy from Fast Retailing Corporation, and then
Son from SoftBank.
No, number two is Takemitsu Takizaki, the founder and president of device maker Kiense Corp. I actually don't know.
Kiense.
Yeah, I don't even know who this is, what he does. And then number three is SoftBank. Son.
Where's Toyota? No Toyota.
Toyota's CEO?
Mm-hmm.
Toyota's CEO is not that...
Isn't it surprising? Because Toyota is a like most famous company in Japan, but he is not on the list.
In Japan, CEOs don't make a lot of money.
Oh, okay.
Not like other countries. That's what got Gon into so much... that's why Nissan was having such problems with Gon, because Gon wanted more money and wanted to take the company's control out of Japan because of a lot of silly things that they do in Japan. CEOs in Japan don't make a lot of money. If you're a CEO and you do well, I recommend not doing it in this country. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but that's the truth. Let's go on to a stupid story. City forced to ruin picturesque palm tree lined road. Just if you can throw this on the screen. Set against the backdrop of the chain of blue waters of Tokyo Bay under a blue sky, the 1 kilometer straight stretch has been known as the what do they call it? The Chiba-fornia.
Chiba-fornia. First time to know.
It's basically this long road in Chiba that has how many does it have? 98 palm trees that line it, and so you can see the ocean and all these palm trees that are equidistant from each other.
That's a sad looking.
And it's an Instagram favorite spot. It's really beautiful. It kind of looks like California. But the local officials got kind of pissed off at people stopping it's a no parking zone. And so the assholes ruined the entire fucking view.
Was a big accident happened there?
I don't think there was an accident. There's no mention of an accident. I think it's just a bunch of pissed off, stupid Komuin. Of 98 palm trees planted along the road, 40 were wrapped with a bright yellow sheet measuring 3 meters around their trunk, and it says no parking, no photography on the road. So the local very small power, what is it called? What are they called? Like super hall monitor energy from this, I feel. Like these like small little people in the local government trying to be the big man, putting these god-awful ugly stickers on these beautiful trees, and they're like, nope, photography, no stopping, ruining it for everybody.
People are still taking a photo, I guess, because, those looks very rare to see.
All the stickers on it?
Yeah, or the stickers on it. They want to, upload it to Instagram still.
Yeah, but I don't know, like if you don't want the people stopping there, place a fucking cop out there. Why do they ruin the view for everybody?
Right.
It's just, I hate local government sometimes. All right, let's do one question for Natsuki. Okay. Natsuki, how long should you date someone in Japan before going on a trip with them?
3 times.
3 times? No. How long? Like how many days, months, weeks, years?
3. I mean, should I answer my own answer or like?
Keep it for a second. Don't answer. Okay, so starting with the question, this is from the Soto News. Starting with the question, how long since you've been dating is it okay to go on a trip with your partner?
3 months.
The most popular response was 2 to 3 months, as indicated by 43.2% of males and 39% of females. In second place was 4 to 6 months. Jeez, that's forever. 25% of males and 30% of females, which indicates an overwhelming majority, so 70% of males and about 70% of females were in the 2 to 6 month camp. 14.1% of women believed any time within the first month is a good time for a trip.
I belong there.
Natsuki, you and your husband, how many dates did you go on before you went on your first trip?
2 dates.
And how long before you proposed to him?
2 dates.
Natsuki, I actually think you're lying. I think it was your second date was a trip.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. So you went on one date.
All right.
And then your second date was a trip.
Right.
Which was like a week later, 2 weeks later?
2 weeks later, maybe. Can't remember.
And then on your trip date...
Because I knew him for a long time.
It doesn't matter. On your trip date, the second date, which is 2 weeks later, you got drunk and proposed to him.
Right. And he accepted. Cool. Love you.
Josh, how long between you and your fiance, how long before you went on a trip together?
Well, our first trip together was a work trip that we had, and she came along, but it was like after 10 months or something.
But you guys are like COVID couple.
Yeah, we started dating and then Corona happened. So
yeah.
So we couldn't really go anywhere.
It's probably the best thing that happened to you guys though, really. Like force you guys to spend a lot of time together.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was one reason why I felt ready to get married so quickly, I guess, is just because like we spent so much time together.
You're just like, it's nothing going to change.
So I guess our first like actual trip together is going to be when we get married in Hawaii.
In Hawaii at the end of the year.
That's going to be our first trip.
Is this like too early things happen to in the United States too? Like we are too early to go on the trip things.
I honestly don't think that there is a whatever is good for you. You know, I don't think there's no determined, set, decided like time.
You know, these things is happening because, you know, if you go on a trip, you know, maybe physical activity is happening.
You keep saying physical activity. Sex. You might fuck each other. What are you doing? This isn't the Disney Channel. Okay.
So that's why people are saying, is it too early or something? Do you understand what I mean?
Let's ask this question. For physical activities, how many dates is acceptable?
Yeah.
For me, it depends on the person, but
it depends on the person. Exactly.
I'm totally fine with if I'm feeling it. The first date is fine. I'm cool with that.
Because I knew my husband for a long time.
You keep saying this like this means something. You fucking knew him when you were a kindergartner. You didn't see him your whole life. Then you saw him again. That's not, you knew him for a long time. That's it. You went in and out of each other's lives briefly. And then you met him again as an adult. What are you talking about?
We're adults. You can do it whenever you want if you're okay with it. But, you know, I wanted to know the right answer. Do you understand what I mean?
There's no right answer. It's up to you.
Or average. This is average. So
average
what's your answer, Josh? How many dates if you need?
For what?
Fucking.
Well, if both sides feel like the
if you
time
both
is right,
signed on the contract,
yeah,
it's cool.
Yeah, no, like Mitch said, if both sides feel like the time is right,
so
the atmosphere is good.
This is a very childish question.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these kind of like random couple interviews that they have in Japan are kind of childish.
Childish and who cares thing.
My thing that I love about Japanese couples is that not all Japanese people are like this, but there's a significant amount of, especially women, who require you. We were talking about this before. Require you to have the statement, the legal framework. They require you to decide that you're a couple before they'll do anything.
Right.
And like it requires you to kokuhaku, and then you have to say "sukiatte kudasai" or "sukiaimashou" or something, whatever. It's like, let's date, let's go out together. And then after you've decided that, then you're boyfriend and girlfriend, and then, as you said, physical activities can commence. But it's like,
this kind of things happening because, Japanese people care about what other people think about you. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why people, especially girls, they don't want people to think them that they're too bitchy or karui.
Okay, wait. Bitchy in real English does not mean what it means in Japanese.
Oh, okay.
In Japanese, if you call a woman a bitchy, it means she's a slut.
Oh, okay.
Okay, if you call a woman in English a bitch, it means that she's like hidoi ona or like urusai ona.
Oh, okay.
It's not the same thing.
So karui wa? What about karui onna?
Slut. Or she's easy.
Yeah. So those girls don't want people think they're easy girls. That's why they keep themselves.
Don't say pure because there's no. I have never met a pure girl in my entire life.
So yeah, there are some pure girls exist.
Purer.
What is it?
Pure is like 100%. I know purer girls.
Purer girls.
But like, who cares? Like in Japan, a lot of people care. Like, oh, like this girl has slept with a lot of guys or whatever. But who cares? It's that person's life. Let them do whatever they want.
Yeah, but people care.
Then you get into the double standard, right? Where like this dude who's like plowed through his fair share of girls, no problem.
Is it like that in Japan? Like,
yeah.
If there's a girl that's slept with 10 guys versus like a guy that slept with 10 girls, how are they seen?
The girls have advantage. I mean, people probably 10 is okay, but 100 maybe no.
Okay, let's just do 40 people. Okay, you got a guy who's like, like one. I don't want to say his name. One of our friends is a pharmacist. Let's just say lots of fun times. If he gets married, everybody says, "Oh, he finally calmed down. He's going to be a family man." If a girl fucks 40 people and then gets married, everyone's like, "Oh, she's going to cheat."
That's true.
I don't know. She's kind of a bad girl,
Yeah. That happens.
Really? Is that how it is in Japan?
Yeah, that's how it is.
I said 10 is okay, but 10 is not okay maybe.
Like when I said 10, I meant like over a short period of time. Let's say there's like a couple of weeks where a guy dates 10 different girls or a girl dates 10 different guys.
In Japan, the idea is that the guy is going to do that because he's like, that's his nature. And so everybody goes, oh, okay. He's doing that because he's handsome and he can. And he just needs to find the right girl who catches him and makes him a father. That's the image. But a girl who does the same thing, oh, there's something wrong with her. You can't trust her. She's a slut.
Well, she's easy.
She's easy. She's not going to be a good mom. Oh, when he goes to work, she's going to do something. I just know it. Is the complete double standard.
Mitch is right.
Yeah, actually, recently, I think I talked about this last show maybe, but like I talked with my students about like stereotypes in Japan, and one of the questions was like, are there gendered stereotypes? No, sorry, that wasn't the part that I wanted to talk about. It was about American stereotypes, and then the most commonly said answer was that Americans are so free because they don't care about like what other people think about them.
Yeah.
And like we started talking about that in Japan, like, and I was saying like, well, do you care what someone else thinks about like are you going to dress nicely just for everyone else? And then like everyone said yes. They really care what everyone else thinks, and that's kind of hard. I mean, that's a lot of pressure. Like I care a little bit like what people think about me, but not to the point where I'm not gonna do something that I like to do.
It goes to the root of the culture here that it's the individual is less important than the group here, right? And so group harmony. Remember the wa. The wa is super important, right?
Harmony, right?
Harmony. And so if you do something that makes you an outcast or makes you strange, in America, if you do it well and people like it, you're a genius. It's like, oh my God, you're just different from the rest of us, but you're a genius. If you do that in Japan, there'll be a lot of people who'll be like, no, get in line. Go back to being like everybody else. Why do you think you're so special?
But I think of it more like an ecosystem. Like you can't have an ecosystem of all the exact same animal.
Yes, you can.
How?
You can't. You can't.
Yeah. But so like in Japan, like everybody can should be able to like their own things and stuff like that. But like we mentioned before, if a group of like 6 people go out to a restaurant together, like they'll all get the same thing and eat it together and all say how good it is, even if like one person's like, I fucking hate strawberries, but I'm gonna eat the strawberry cake.
But let me onion that with you. We're gonna go deep on this, okay?
Okay.
That happens when there's not trust in the group. If the people have a relationship that's not very deep or not very filled with trust, that's what they'll do.
Right.
If you're out with your best friends and you've been best friends forever and you absolutely trust each other, at that point you can just be yourself and relax. So it's again, it goes, we've talked about this before, the tatemae and honne. It's like you have your two faces, kind of your two attitudes, I should say. And so if they're worried about what other people think about them and then they change their dress accordingly, your students don't trust the people that they're with, or there's a power imbalance. But if they're at the same level and they trust each other, then they don't care. They'll be in their pajamas for all they care. You know.
So that means this answer doesn't always correct.
There's no correct answer, Natsuki. This is my big annoyance with Japanese language sometimes is when they say chanto shite. Chanto shite means like do it correctly.
Right.
Chanto means like correctly. And I always go, what is correct?
It depends on person.
It depends on the person. And a lot of times when people go chanto, they don't mean chanto. They don't mean correct. They mean do it like everybody else does it. And I always like futsu, which means usual or usually.
Normal.
And then chanto, those are my 2 words in the Japanese language that always annoy me, because when people tell me chanto shinasai yo, I'm like, they like do it correctly. I'm like, what the hell is correct?
Yeah, exactly. You are right.
Who determines what is correct or not?
But people care, in Japanese, people care about chanto or correctly, normal.
Speaking of which, complete tangent here. I've been addicted to a YouTube channel called Eiga Channel. Eiga-chan.
Hi. I haven't seen that. It's funny.
Guys, I don't know if I think it has automatic subtitles, so if you guys don't understand Japanese, I think you'd still enjoy it. It's in English letters. EGA, Eiga, channel, spelled CHANNEL. There's one of the videos on there about this. Eiga-chan is like a
comedian,
but he's really smart. But he acts like he's very smart, but he acts like an idiot. He pretends to be stupid, but he's actually very clever.
Really?
And there's a couple of them where he is in a restaurant with a manner etiquette teacher.
Okay.
Specialist. And like they're just having dinner together, and then the teacher keeps scolding him every time he fucks up his etiquette, his manners.
Okay.
Oh my god, it's so funny.
What did he do?
Everything bad.
Oh.
Everything bad.
He dressed like always, like, just tight and naked?
No. He was wearing clothes.
Okay.
But like, oh my god, I was just like, you just gotta watch it. It's just so funny. Anyway, and so one of the things that like she kept saying to him was like, chanto shinasai, chanto shinasai.
Hi.
And like his response was just really funny. If you guys just watch it, there's 3 videos on his channel. I think you might have to search for it in Japanese. Maybe you can search for it in English. There's 3 videos. 2 are with a teacher who just looks like a tight, stuck up, bitchy of a teacher. Really tight hair, white clothes. Like she sits up, stand very straight.
Minchin sensei mitai.
Yeah, she's anyway. So there's 2 episodes like that, and another episode is like where Eiga-chan and then 3 really big dudes sit at Kaiten Sushi, the sushi go-around place. And then there's another little Japanese girl who's blonde, and I think she might weigh 40 kilograms, which is like 100 pounds. And it's like, who can eat more sushi? These 4 dudes, or this one little Japanese girl?
One little Japanese girl.
I'm not going to ruin it, but when you watch it, you're just like, what?
She's so skinny, but eats a lot, right?
Yes, tiny. Anyway, I'm addicted to that. And sushi ramen or ramen sushi. I don't remember the name of the channel.
What's the name of the, very famous, those kind of girl? なんだっけすっごいよく食べる人。
Yeah, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of channels where the girls, they'll just like eat a lot of food on screen. Is it ramen sushi or sushi ramen? Ramen sushi. Sushi ramen riku. This one's fully translated into English, so if you guys don't understand Japanese, it's just stupid fun. Sushi ramen riku. It's just like, I got addicted to this after watching his, like, he tried to shoot fireballs like Mario does. and they tried for 30 minutes to try to get it to like, they like melted metal and all these other things to try to get it. It's just funny. It's just fun, stupid YouTube stuff. Anyway, let's go to our last story today. This futon blanket with built-in fans will save your life this Japanese summer. We'll put this on the screen. The faneru, a combination of fan and neru, faneru, is a Japanese word for neru means sleep. It's a super ventilated futon blanket with 2 built-in fans. The idea behind this is that instead of leaving your air conditioning on all night, you can just simply inflate your blanket and it keeps the air going around and it saves you money.
Is it comfortable? Because, you should put some ice inside of the futon and then, you can get the fan. That means cool air. But if you don't put some ice, it's very hot.
There's no mention of ice, but...
Air conditioner in there too?
So, no, it's just fans. And so the idea...
You will die. Yeah, it's happened.
So
Heat shock.
It says heat stroke now. It
Heat
says...
stroke.
Thanko's Faneru is available now on their online shop for $76.29 or 9,800 yen. It may seem a bit expensive than an average blanket, but if you use this instead of leaving your air conditioning on, it might pay for itself.
I want to try though.
The reason why I'm talking about this is because I'm the same as you, Natsuki. I don't think that this is going to do shit.
We have that kind of things a lot, and best.
Yeah,
clothes.
Yeah. Josh just looked it up. A lot of the, like, what do you call them?
Construction
workers and like utility guys now, they have the inflated jackets to keep them cool because it's too hot.
It causes heat stroke, I guess.
The jacket or the faneru.
Both. Like if the weather, the wind is very cool, your temper get down. But if it's not, it's still hot.
So I'm with you on this. Like, so this blanket, if you guys aren't watching, you're just listening on the podcast on the app. It's basically like a giant balloon that you sleep under that has 2 fans that circulate air within the balloon. And I don't think that would do shit because if the ambient air temperature in your room, which is indoors in summer in Japan, could be up to like 35, 38 degrees. What is that in American in freedom units? What is that in freedom units? Anyway, Josh is looking it up. So if you're like 38 degrees Celsius in your room,
freakingly hot.
How much is that? 100 degrees. So 38 degrees in freedom units is 100 degrees freedom units. You just, it doesn't matter how much the air is circulating around you. It's fucking hot. You're gonna die.
I want to try though. I hope inside of the futon if there is an air conditioner in it, it works. But
it's just 2 fans, man. It's like they're not even that big. Josh, let me ask you a question. You're like me, okay? We're not small guys. When you sleep in the summer in Japan, where it's 100% humidity and 38 degrees Celsius, 100 degrees freedom units, how do you sleep?
How do I sleep?
Yeah, like tell me the sleeping arrangement. Is it like in a room with the windows open, the aircon off? Like what do you do?
Air conditioner is on, windows, everything closed, and I sleep with a blanket.
Do you set a timer on the air conditioner to turn it off?
If it's really hot and it's summer, then no, I don't. I just leave it on all night.
Me too. Same.
But can I say my opinion on this blanket?
I would love to hear your opinion on this blanket.
I think it would actually help. And the reason why is like, think about how a blanket is used normally. Like when it's cold, you put a blanket on, your body heats up the blanket, right? And the warmth of the blanket warms you back up, right?
It insulates you.
But if it's full of air, if it's like blowing air inside, the blanket is gonna be like blown off of you. So there's not gonna be direct contact with you and the blanket. So you're not gonna be heating up the blanket. And so you will stay cooler because there's not direct contact between you and the blanket.
I'm totally with everything you just said, except for one little problem. It depends on the ambient temperature of the room. Now, I'm going to talk about something else here. In Japan, they sell these little cup holders that you put in front of the air vent on your car. So for the air conditioning, so if you put your, like, think of it as a Coca-Cola can in the cup holder that's in front of the air conditioning vent on your car. Here's the problem. The air that's coming out of your air vent with your air conditioning on is warmer than the temperature of the drink. Even though it's cold air, it's not as cold as the drink. So as that cool air is going around the can, it's actually warming it because it's a little bit warmer than the temperature of the drink. So that's a stupid product. Okay. That's why you don't see them it's an aftermarket product. You don't see it in the original car. If the room is 100 degrees freedom units or 38 degrees Celsius, and you're circulating that air around your body.
Yeah, in that case, I don't think it makes sense. What I think would be the best thing that you can do is have your air conditioner set to not like
full blast, but
not full blast, but like a low temperature.
So I was gonna go there.
Yeah.
If your room, if you don't use the air conditioning, you're just using this, and the ambient temperature of the room is higher than your resting body temperature, which is 98.6 degrees freedom units or 36.6 degrees Celsius, then that will only heat you up. Doesn't matter how much airflow you're going through because the ambient temperature in the room is higher than your body temperature. But like Josh said, if you leave the air conditioning on just a little bit and you get the ambient temperature in the room to be lower than your temperature, then that will be a perfect solution to keep you nice and cool.
I'm more concerned about like how loud it's going to be with two fans.
Oh, that's true too.
Yeah, those two fans look pretty small too, so they don't look like they're very quiet. And the other thing that maybe you can put like a cover on it or something, but it's like plastic. Do you want to sleep touching plastic all night?
Polyester.
It's not poly. I think it's just plastic. Anyway, it looks terrible to me. I wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't do it. But I want to try. I want to try.
This would never work in Korea.
Why?
Because they believe that fans suck the air out of the room and kill you.
Oh, really?
This is like a torture device in Korea.
A torture device that doesn't actually torture you. It's just make-believe. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, Google Korean fan death. And you'll see. I don't know. Okay, let me tell you how I sleep in summer. I have a taruketo.
Taoruket.
Which
is it English?
No, it's almost English.
Taoruket. Blanket.
It's a blanket made out of, it's not even towel material, but it's just like a light blanket that they call, it's a combination of towel and blanket, taruketo, but it's not actually a towel. It's just like light material. I put that over me. I put I sleep in a very small room with an air conditioning unit inside of it. I turn it on low, turn it on full blast, and sleep under my blanket, and I'm very happy. My power bill is ridiculous.
I like ice makura. How do you say that? Ice pillow.
Do you put ice in it?
It's a thing that we get fever.
Oh, the little cooling gel pack thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I like it.
But then it heats up and becomes like warm later.
That's right.
Anyway, guys, I think that's been today's show. I don't know what else to talk about. We had some other stories, but I consider them too boring and serious, so we're just gonna
leave it. Bye.
Leave it. Bye. I think we're gonna end the show there. What did we talk about today? So, if you guys have any opinions on the Papakatsu situation, if you've seen anything in your home country, or if you're Japanese and you've seen anything like that, let me know. I think that it's incredibly rare, and I think that the explosion on the internet, I hope that those two girls are saved by the police or whatever, but I don't think it's warranted. I thought Shang-Chi was a great movie. What else did we talk about today? Everything's more expensive and the world sucks, but Japan is reopening so you can come and visit us. And what else?
Pondering hamburger.
Donut cheeseburger.
Donut cheeseburger.
And you can go on a date, on your second date, go on a trip, have, what did you call it? Physical relationship. Activity. Where was that quote from last week that you said, like, all the activities or whatever? So many activities?
Oh, it's so much space for, there's so much space for activities.
Was that from Deadpool or something?
No, that's from Step Brothers.
Huh? Oh, the Colin Farrell, Will Ferrell, what's his name?
Will Ferrell.
Yeah, his movie. Yeah.
He, the two middle-aged men get bunk beds, and then they're like, there's so much space for activities. Anyways.
Horrible movie. The Lego movie, though. Loved his character in that. President Business. Lego movie is actually really good if you haven't watched it. All right, Natsuki. Gonna say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Do you have anything to say? I mean, it was a pretty how long is this show so far?
It'll be about an hour and a half. But after this, we have a special video for our patrons.
Woo-hoo. That's right, because Natsuki's usually not here for our patron movie videos.
I haven't talked to anybody besides my babies, so my word doesn't come out. It's a problem.
She kind of looks like a battered woman when she's talking to me right now. She's like, oh, I haven't spoke to anybody. The sunlight hurts my eyes when I go outside.
No. I realized something right now. Even Japanese, I haven't spoke to adults these days. I need practice, both Japanese and English.
You need to get out of the house more, lady.
Right.
I'm never having children.
Corona. I shouldn't say fuck. F-U-C-K.
What's the... All right, guys. That's been our show today. If you want to leave us a comment for anything that we talked about. We talked about a lot of things today. Questions, comments, whatever. We love comments. If you guys want to be a patron and support our caffeine habits. Our caffeine habit. We would love it if you would do so. And also, we have a Discord server for our patrons, and we'd like to talk about topics or whatever. You guys don't say no. I'm trying to like support the channel here.
Sorry. I was thinking about all by myself. I didn't listen to you. Sorry.
If you guys think that Natsuki might need a little bit of time outside of the house, to not be so crazy all the time.
I need adult conversation. Oh, is that mean not dirty?
It only became dirty after you said it's not dirty.
Okay. I'm frying.
All right, that's been our show today, guys. Again, hit us up on Patreon, whatever, and we'll see you guys next week. Love you guys. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
You didn't press the button. See, he always does this. Like I'm saying goodbye. All he has to do is press the button. So there we go. It's our sponsors.
I need exercise.
Thanks our patrons. Love you guys.
Patrons. Bye.
Oh wait. Before you stop the show, I got a fuck ton of resumes from my request for resumes last week. I got bombarded with resumes. If you guys sent me your resume, thank you so much. I will get back to you. Seriously, I got a ton of, way more than I ever thought, resumes. Thank you guys. I'll get back to you.
Work for your English country.
Yeah, for my English country, Nazgi. Bye everybody.